Assalamualaikum and hello students. Welcome to part 3 of our sewerage lecture. So on part 3 we'll be talking about the manholes. So what is manholes? Manholes is needed at corners or sun joint of the piping for an inspection purposes. Some manholes are built using brick wall, some are using concrete, so it depends. So you need to check your drawing for details. Manhole come from the word maintenance hole, okay, so which means it is some sort of chamber that you can access to inspect your piping. Okay, this is an example of manhole. This is what we call as a plan, how it looks like. So in a class later, when we have face-to-face lecture, we will try to visit locations around the campus, and we'll see how this system are working. So these are the typical items for the manhole. For manhole, you need to refer back to the basic principle in doing concrete works, excavations. For concrete works, for example, you're going to have formwork, reinforcement, and then for brick wall, you need to have a brick wall. You need to have a rendering or plastering, okay, manhole cover as a precast. And lastly, after the manhole, there will be an item called connection to main sewer. So you can refer that at section V.7.1 and connecting to existing works at V.7.2 and V.8 testing of your sewerage system. So these 3 items is very important because it's some sort of a closure to the BQ for the sewerage system or taking off. Okay, for example, for manhole as well, just like previously in the surface water drainage, we have item called sump. For sewerage, it is called manhole, but the principle is almost the same. It has to be measured in detail under separate heading. You need to have a special heading for manhole and stating the number of manhole involved. Say you have like 16 manhole in similar types, so it has to be under one heading. So another one is a concrete, for example, you have like 5 numbers, so it has to be another heading for that. And then it has to be written something like the following in 7 number brick manholes. So if you are using concrete, so it has to be the following in 7 number of concrete manholes. Okay, this is how the manhole is being constructed. Okay, if you look at this, I'm going to use a red pen. Okay, red one. Okay, this is the precast manhole, I think. Okay, this is the manhole, the precast one. Okay, this is the working area where they I think they are pouring the concrete now or putting the casing because they have a hook tied to the excavator. Okay, and then this is the drain. Okay, the drain pipes. Okay, if you look at this is a manhole wall that has been plastered, and remember the thickness of the manhole. And then this is a piping works. Okay, piping works joint, and this is another manhole. Okay, another manhole. Okay, another manholes here. So for example, this is MH1, this one will be MH2, something like that. Okay, next one. Okay, this is how you describe all the works in the manhole. It has to be stated in a special heading for a manhole. Okay, for example, if you are using brick, so you need to mention brick. If you are using concrete, it has to be concrete manholes. Okay, the principle is like you're doing a normal excavation work. If it's a pit, so you have to mention a pit. Okay, so obviously manhole is a pit. Okay, you cannot use other type of excavation under section D. Okay, the principle applies from section D. Okay, this is how you write. Okay, so I assume the manhole for this one will look like this. Okay, look at the dimension there. It's one manhole, yeah. So here must be 1.3. Okay, 1.3, and the depth is 1.5. It's good that if you can sketch this in the side cast area, and you need to mention it has phone numbers. That's why it is being times at four phone numbers. It is also being described here. Okay. Okay, example in bills. Okay. Okay, and then we have channelings, channel, measure in number. This is what we call as a channel. It has to be stating the type, quality, size, method of bedding and jointing. Okay, just like a pipe, we have to mention nature of work. Okay, types, number 1. Remember this. Number 3 is the material. Number 4 is the nominal size. Okay, if it's straight, you have to mention straight, yeah. Okay, and number 5. Okay, and number 6 is a size. Number 7 is how you join. Okay, if it's curve, it has to be mentioned as curve. Okay, range of branches. Okay, this is how the manhole, inside the manhole, and the connection of pipe in the manhole looks like. Okay, and then there's another item called intercepting traps. Okay. Okay, this is what we call a benching, just like we have previously. Again, you have to, it will be measured in number. You need to mention the type, quality, size, method of application. Okay. Material. Okay. Types, size. Okay. Average thickness, how it will be done, and lastly it has to be mentioned finish to falls to channel, which mean, okay, what does it mean by finish to falls to channel? Is that, okay, it's going to have like something like this. Okay, something like this is your channel. Okay, so it will be led to fall. Okay, so lastly is the built-in end of 100 mm UPVC drain. This is for the end pipes. Lastly, is a cover slab or manhole cover. It depends on the types of slab cover or manhole cover that they use in the drawing. Okay, normally it will measure in number. Okay, this is a brick manhole. Okay, example of a brick manhole. Then concrete pad, and then we have haunching there, if you can have a look, and the brick manhole. Okay, we have another item called backdrop, where you have a very high level of pipe, but you want it to be lowered, so you need to have item for backdrop. This is what we call a backdrop. For substantial number of manhole in particular, schedule or manhole must be used. So I really hope the student, you will need to prepare with this schedule for our face-to-face class, so that we can use the schedule for this sewerage and manholes. Taking off. Okay, lastly is a connecting to existing manhole. Okay, description: connecting ends. Why you have to connect ends of drain pipes? Because you need to make sure that your piping is connected to the existing manhole, otherwise it will be unfinished works. Okay, so you need to have this item. Okay, this one is a connection to a public main. For example, like you have, this is your side boundary, and you have your last manhole here, and there will be another manhole outside the boundary. This is owned by, for instance, in this case is IWK. So you would like to connect your manhole to the local authorities, so you need to have this item as a provisional sum. Okay, provisional sum, and will be paid to the local authorities. Okay, this one is obviously is the testing for the whole sewerage system. So you need to have this, of course. Right. So that's all for part 3. And for part 4, we'll be discussing on items in the class. And I will as well upload the videos that we will record during the face-to-face lecture. And another video, part 5, is on the costing, okay, for the sewerage system or sewerage lecture for this week. That's all for now. I really hope if you have any question, please you can write it down in the Google Classroom, or you can ask me directly in the class. Till then, Assalamualaikum, and have a great day, everyone.